Analysts say, however, the meeting is crucial because it will set the tone for the next few years. Trudeau has said he will target common issues such as trade, jobs, and the middle class. He says he will stress that millions of American jobs depend on trade with Canada. The two leaders will also take part in a roundtable discussion about women in the workforce, another area of shared interest. There are major differences on issues such as immigration and refugees, but it's unlikely they will be up for discussion during so short a visit. For NPR News, I'm Dan Carpenchuk in Toronto.
The full Senate is scheduled to vote tonight on the nomination of Stephen Mnuchin as Treasury Secretary. NPR's Lynn Neary reports.
Stephen Mnuchin is a hedge fund manager who spent 17 years at Goldman Sachs. He's also produced a number of well-known movies. But it was his tenure as CEO of One West Bank which drew the most attention at his confirmation hearing last month. Democrats wanted to know more about his role in overseeing the large numbers of homes that were foreclosed on by the bank. Democrats walked out of a committee hearing on his nomination. President Trump complained repeatedly about the Democrats' delaying tactics. Early Friday morning, Senate leaders announced a deal between Republicans and Democrats to clear the way for tonight's vote. Mnuchin is expected to be confirmed. Lynn Neary, NPR News, Washington.
In California, nearly 200,000 people remain out of their homes as authorities try to fix the erosion of the emergency spillway at the nation's tallest dam near Lake Oroville. From member station KQED, Dan Brecky says heavy rain caused the spillway to be used for the first time over the weekend.
It's a release mechanism. When they see water coming out, they have to maintain enough space in the reservoir to catch flood water, so they let water out. And while they were doing that, there was a big hole in the middle of the main spillway, so they had to shut it down, and they could not use it the way they normally would. So the lake rose 50 feet in just a few days and got up to this emergency spillway, which had never been used since the dam went into service in 1968. And on Saturday morning, it began pouring over there.
Dan Brecky reporting. The CEO of Apple says governments and tech companies must act to stop the spread of fake news. Tim Cook says falsehoods are being spread by people who want to get the most clicks, not tell the most truth. Tech companies have been criticized for doing too little to differentiate unfounded news stories. This is NPR News. The head of the International Monetary Fund says President Trump will likely be good for the U.S. economy in the short term, but Christine Lagarde says rising American interest rates and a strengthening dollar will challenge global trade. She says Trump's plans for additional investment in U.S. infrastructure and his likely tax reforms will boost the American economy, regarding knowledge that Trump's trade policies may also lead to tightening that's going to be difficult